One thing that I, kind of take with me on my journey now is that you don't choose your karma. You don't get to really choose how something comes back to you. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel. I am Darla, and you are tuned into TheThirtyJourney. Here I share my life lessons, experiences, and journey through my 30s with you. And if any of these things on the screen interest you, you should definitely consider subscribing and joining the TTJRNY fam. All right, y'all, let's talk. Okay, so I was thinking, this was not really planned, even though it kind of was. But I was thinking about a lot of the things that have blocked my blessings and kind of been hindrances on my journey. And I really want to share with y'all like some of the things that really have been hindrances, along this journey that I've recognized, over time, and that God has definitely allowed me to journey through and continue to heal. And I have a video already on healing. So if you want to check that one out, I really love the fact that it's picking up a lot of traction, and I'm grateful for the comments and things that you guys have shared with me from that video. And I really want to go ahead and kind of expound on that a little bit too. But if you want to hear a few of the things that I believe have blocked blessings and that I've continued to let go so that I can receive so many beautiful things on this journey, please keep watching. So before we get into this, I want to let y'all know that we'll be dog barking in this video because for whatever reason, one of my neighbor's dogs is going ham right now. So sorry about that. First thing that I'll say that kind of blocked blessings or was a hindrance for me was staying in comfort zone. So this was big for me because if I had stayed in a comfort zone prior to starting YouTube, I would have never started YouTube. I know YouTube and doing YouTube was one of those things that I wanted to do, but I knew it was also stepping outside of my comfort zone. My comfort zone would have been podcasting. It would have been just blogging and writing a simple blog and posting every day or every week or something like that. But YouTube was something that I wanted to tackle because, for one, I have speech issues. I deal with anxiety. I had just gotten braces and my teeth are shifting all in front of the camera and everything. And those were things that I had to face. Those were things that I had to force myself to do and not use as an excuse when it came down to staying in my comfort zone. Had I not done this, it would not have opened the doors that is already open, which honestly, some of them I haven't even walked through yet. But it has been so rewarding in so many different ways already for me just stepping out on faith and continuing to conquer, not being in my comfort zone. Another thing that I relate to this is my grandfather, who was 79 years old before he stepped foot on a plane. Like, he was 79 years old when he stepped foot on a plane. And it was funny how this happened because I remember we were all going to Disney World. And I told my family, I'm going to meet y'all there and I will fly. And I remember my family was like, well, I guess we'll just fly too. And my grandfather was not here for it. But he had to really face that fear and really allow himself to step outside of his comfort zone if he wanted to go, and he ended up doing that, and I was very, very proud of him for doing that. Now granted, he said he probably won't do it again, but he gonna do it again. Now granted, we all have our thing, right? But I think stepping outside of my comfort zone has been one of those things that has given me so much more faith in a lot of areas because I see what happens when I move just a little bit and I allow God to do the rest. Another hindrance on my journey and another thing that kind of blocked some blessings, y'all, was control. Girl, we could talk about this for a nice little hour because when I tell you, honey, I think a lot of this for me stems from anxiety, and also I believe it's generational because I've seen it in the lineage of some of my family members. So this kind of looked like, how you feel like you have to be 2 steps ahead of a person because you never want to get messed over. You never want people to kind of catch you off guard. You always want to stay ready. And that's kind of one of those things that I had to really grow through because you're not going to always be able to stay ready. You're not going to always be 2 steps ahead of somebody. You're not going to always be ahead of the curve. There are going to be moments in your life where you're going to have to humble yourself and allow yourself to trip and fall in some situations. And that's just what it is. And you got to be okay with that. One thing that I, kind of take with me on my journey now is that you don't choose your karma. You don't get to really choose how something comes back to you. And I think that applies to all of us. Like, granted, if someone is trying to get over on you, if somebody is trying to make you out to be a fool, let them. And now I feel like I understand a little bit more when the word of God says, like, if someone slaps your left cheek, give them your right, or something like that. I'll put the verse on the screen or something. And I feel like I'm like I said, understanding that a little bit more, because we really don't get to choose our karma. Granted, we want to retaliate. We want to give people what they have given us. But at the end of the day, I'm just really realizing that I am just not a better vindicator than my father. Like, my goodness, God can humble some people right in front of you, and literally it'd be like, whew. Let me tell you again, he is a better vindicator than I. And I'm just gonna let that sit. I'm just gonna let that be. Granted, I'm not perfect in this. I'll be wanting to tell people about themselves. But a lot of times, y'all, sometimes you just gotta let some stuff just ride, like, and relinquish trying to control everything. I wanted to always know what was going on when I didn't need to know what was going on. I didn't need to hear what was being said about me in that room. I didn't need to hear what was going on after I left a situation at a table or something, and what people were saying. Look, I came, I did what I needed to do, and I left. And whatever happened there, happened there. And a lot of times when it comes to being able to relinquish control in those aspects, you will find yourself in a better state of mind, also being in a very peaceful state as well. And that was something that really came with this journey for me, because I really allowed myself to relinquish control in a lot of areas. This is still a growing thing. We do not have this down pat. None of these things are down pat for me. I'm not perfect in this, but I just know that there has been so much progress in this aspect in my life. So control, y'all, you better release it, because you can't control everything. Another thing that kind of hindered me on this journey and kind of blocked some blessings was feeling like everything had to be perfect before I did something. Some days it's raining, like today. It's raining, it's a rainy day. And for me, like, a lot of times I would just wait until it's a sunny day in order to get this done. And that's not going to always work. I remember, you know, kind of hearing this in prayer a lot from the Holy Spirit. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect in order for you to get it done. Like, it doesn't have to be completely 75 degrees every time when it comes down to going outside and having a great day. It doesn't have to be all of that in order for you to be able to enjoy something. It's interesting because, of course, in my mind I knew this, but when it came down to executing and really doing certain things, like, this was my life. Like, it was hard for me to get things done unless all the conditions were perfect or the weather was perfect. And it really just made me think about two songs, or two lines from songs. One is, you could plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. And another one is, sunny days, everybody loves them. But baby, tell me, can you stand the rain? Or tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? One of those. But yeah, at the end of the day, can you be okay if it's raining in the midst of doing something that's fun? Can you handle that? My wig might not be able to handle that, but I can handle it. But truthfully, guys, to be able to be aware of it now and to be able to kind of move forward no matter what is what allows me to know that there's definitely progress being made. And I'm so grateful for it, because it allows me again to be able to receive more blessings and be open to receiving more blessings. And one last thing that kind of blocked some blessings and caused a few hindrances, I believe, on my journey was not being able to go with the flow. Man, this was a real one right here. Like, a real one for me. So I'm the type of person that takes a lot of cues from nature. And I remember being on the lake one day and just watching the water, literally just watching the water just flow. And this taught me a lot about flow. And I remember just kind of getting a bunch of different cues in prayer regarding being able to go with the flow and just different things like that. And after watching the water, it just made me realize, like, it doesn't know where it's going. It doesn't know where it'll end up, but it's allowing itself to just naturally do what it does. And it really just allowed me again to take another cue from nature and realize for myself that it is okay sometimes to just go with the flow. I am a planner, So, you know, 9 times out of 10, I'm always writing something. And a lot of times it is to help me remember the things that I want to do and kind of sticking to some type of itinerary, but not saying that you necessarily have to. I'm not that bad. Like if we don't stick to the schedule, like it's going to be a horrible day. Like I'm not that type of person, but at the same time, like having some type of structure is important to me in my life, which is okay. And I would say like in my life, probably for the past maybe 2 or 3 years, it has definitely changed more about being able to do that, because I just find that I have so much fun, you know, when I'm able to go with the flow, even though I still bring my itinerary too, so I won't forget some of the stuff that I want to do. I don't need your judgment. Sometimes you really just got to allow yourself to go with the flow and really just thank God that you are being guided in certain ways and honor that, because I know I do. And I also honor when he's just like, just go. Just go and enjoy yourself. Like one thing that sticks out for me is definitely the night that I decided to go out with a complete stranger at night on a random date in a whole nother state. That's a big go with the flow moment for me. And that was, oh man, I can't believe it's been 3 years since that happened. And that was big for me, because Lord knows I probably wouldn't have did that. But it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful night. It was great. I talk a little bit about it in my solo travel video if you want to watch that. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. And I'm glad that I allowed myself to go with the flow when it came down to that. And I'm grateful for so many moments that came after that, that I was able to allow myself to go with the flow as well. So that was one of those things on my journey that I really learned how to do, and I tapped in, you know, in a lot of different areas when it came to going with the flow. Also just being mindful of my spiritual guides as well, that's guiding me while I'm going with the flow. It's balanced. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't hesitate on giving it a big thumbs up. Y'all know that helps me out a lot. Also, if you have anything that you have learned that has, you know, been a hindrance on your journey, that you've continued to journey through gracefully because you realized it and you become aware of it, please let us know below. I would love to hear it. If there's anything that I said in this video that resonates, please let me know as well. I really want to see y'all more in the comments. Also, always remember to keep God first and to commit to the journey. Peace.